Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Here I'll be giving you a tutorial on how to do a heart ombre, and as you can see here, I'm just pushing back my cuticles, and usually on my clients I don't do that or cut their cuticle. And then here now we're going to go in with our e-file, and you just want to use a fine sanding bit to remove all the shine from the natural nail, all the oil. Here as you can see I'm a little bit out of frame, but you just want to remove the oil. You do not want to thin out the nail. That's one thing for sure you don't want to do, because you don't want to make the nail thinner. You just want to remove all the oil and the shine from the natural nail. And then here you want to grab your dust brush or whatever you use and dust off all the dust. And then you want to grab your glue. I'm using my KDS glue, and you want to start applying the tips. And when you apply your tips, make sure they fit good from sidewall to sidewall. And here you will see in my middle finger, the tip is going to be too big. So what you want to do is you want to grab your straight edge nail clipper and just clip off the sides to make sure it fits good from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want to make sure, you want to make sure if it's just right. You do not want to make it too small or too big, because if not, it will mess with your shaping. And then here, we're just going to do the other hand, fast forwarding it, and here, this is the outcome. And then you want to start shaping to your desired shape. So here, I'm going to do mine coffin, and I'm just cutting all the sides from the nail tips, just so it can help me with my filing. And another thing you want to keep in mind with that is, depending on whatever shape you're doing, you don't want to cut too much or cut too little. You want to cut just enough to make sure, because you still have to file. As you can see here, you want to file your nails good and make sure they're all even. As you can see here, and that's the file I used. I used the file 100-180 file from Nail Supply. And then you want to go in with your e-file, and you want to start sanding down from where your natural nail and your tip meets. And you do not want to stay there for too long, because it will give you a burn, but you just want to blend it so you won't see the line of the tip. And then here you want to grab your dust brush again and dust off all the dust, and you want to start getting ready for your application. And please remember, you always want to have a clean area. That's one thing you always want to keep in mind, is having a clean area. It makes you look professional, and it's just more efficient. And I'm sorry if I'm stuttering in the video. This is my first voiceover, but as you can see here, I'm just adding the dehydrator. And here, these are the hearts I will be using. They're from Nailz Bling Supply. I'm using my Mia Secret Cover Nude Blush, and I'm using my Mia Secret Clear. And here I was just trying to clean my dapping dish, but all the glitter from my last set stayed there, so I had to deal with it. But it was like already stuck to the dapping dish. But this is the brush I'll be using. Is a number 10 brush from the Nail Supply, and you always want to make sure you clean it before you start any application. And then here, you want to make sure you have all your products open and ready to go to start your application. And here I add primer, and you just want to go in with your nude or whatever color you're using, and you just want to start blending it. You always want to make sure when you're doing a ombre that your bead is not too wet but not too dry, and you for sure don't want to make it too dry, because if not, you're not going to be able to blend it well. And you always want to clean the cuticle area just so you don't have any runny application. Sorry, this is my first voiceover, so if I sound kind of awkward, you'll know why. But I will get used to it, because I will have more videos like this on explaining it to you guys. And I hope this helps. Always make sure to clean your area, your cuticle area. And you always want to pat down, because what I do is I cap my whatever design or anything with clear at the end. And here I'm just doing the rest of my fingers, blending it with the nude. And as you can see here, this is how it should look like. And here, doing the other hand off camera. And then you want to get your hearts and pour like a little bunch, so you won't have to get from the bag, which is easier. And what you want to do is grab your brush and get a small bead of clear and just apply it to the end of your tip, and just apply it so your hearts are able to stick to it. And just start applying your hearts any kind of way you wish. I just applied mine where it looked nice, and because you don't want to bulk them up too much either. And just start applying them, as you can see there. And then you want to go in with, after that, you want to go in with a bead of clear. And so you can start building your apex also. That's another thing you guys are gonna need to do, is build an apex so your nail won't break off, and so you could cap your hearts. As you can see here, you always want to clean the side walls and the edge. And as you can see, it's already getting thick. You want to add another bead, and you guys, you can use as many beads as you like. You don't want to have a flat nail. As you can see there, you always want to make sure like that. You want to have a nice apex. And I'm still learning that myself, how to build a nail, how to a form to structure your nail, because you do not want to have any flat nails. Flat nails will look horrible. And as you can see here, you want to have an apex. Even if it's a little apex, you still want to have an apex, but not make them too thick. And here I did my other hand off camera, and I'm going in with a fine drill bit in gold. You want to go around that cuticle area. You want to seal your cuticle so you don't get any lifting. And then you want to go in and smooth it out. You don't want to have no bumps or lumps. And you just want to do that on all your nails. And then here after I did my other hand off camera, and you just want to go in and start filing. Here I'll be filing with my 100-180 file from the nail supply. And you always want to make sure your file is straight. You do not want to have your file too much out of an angle, because especially if you're going too fast, it will mess up your shape. And you always want to make sure to also, when you're filing, to not file too fast, especially on a client. Always make sure to pull back their skin when you're filing the sides, because you don't want to hurt your client. And you also sometimes want to file like this, a little bit under, because you don't want to have any lumps in case any liquid spilled, like dripping down and like left a little like bubble or such. I don't know how to describe it. But you also will see here, always make sure your file is straight. And also you could also file, if you don't have an e-file, you could also file with your hand file. Obviously it will take longer, but you will still learn how to, just in case one day your e-file messes up on you while you're with your client or such. That's another thing you have to keep in consideration about having a e-file. It could always mess up on you, especially if it's getting old or it was cheap. It just depends what type of e-file you use. And always make sure to go in, even if it's something you don't like, go back in with your file and try to fix it. You always want to ask your client also if the shape is fine. That's one thing I always ask my clients, if the shape is fine. And here I shipped my other hand off camera, and now I'm dusting off all the dust. And then here I messed up. You're supposed, after this, well, before this, you were supposed to go in with your buffer, but I don't know why, but I put hand sanitizer on. But this is when I realized I had to go in with my buffer. So here you will see me going in with my buffer. And I couldn't find a new one, so I had to use that one. But you always want to make sure, that's another thing, you always want to make sure you use a new file and a new buffer on all your clients, as you can see here. And to be honest, I think I need to go buy some new buffers because I cannot find any. But here you just want to go in and start buffing your nails. Make sure you don't have any scratches and such. You always want to go on top of the nail, under the nail, and around your cuticle area, just to get rid of all the scratches that the bit leaves, or that your file left if you file with a hand file, or even file on top of the nail. So now here I'm dusting off my hands again, and after this I usually tell my clients to go wash their hands. As you can see here, I have nice clean hands, and I will not be blinging out the set, but here I'm going in with my Nail Supply top coat, my diamond gel, I believe it's called, top coat. And oh, sorry, it touched my nose. But here you just want to go with a top coat, not too thick. You never want to use too much top coat because it will get runny and it will mess up your sides, because it will leave that little lump. And you want to make sure you don't have any bubbles when putting on a top coat. Like I said, you don't want to be adding too much, because you will get bubbles and you will have to go back in and file again to remove it and to get rid of the bubble. And here I will just be doing that on all my nails. And then here, as you can see, I always clean off the sides from the nails just so I don't get any top coat that's running. And you just want to go in and put it in the lamp for 60 seconds. And the lamp I use is the Sun 5 UV LED lamp. And here again, this is another top coat I use. I use the Secreat UV Finish Gel Ultra Shine. That's another top coat I use. That's the first top coat I used when I started doing nails. And if any nail techs that are watching, if you know any good top coat, if you could please link it down below in the comments. And this is how they should look after. They look so bomb. And then here I'm just doing my other hand, and I just fast forward it 60 seconds again. And then here you want to go underneath the nail. Since they are clear, I do this, and I put a top coat under just so they could look like really clear, and because I love that look. And you just want to go under, as you can see here, and you want to make sure to clean off the sides, so like I said, so it doesn't run over. And you want to put your hand like so for 60 seconds again. And I'm using the Nail Supply Glamour top coat, the diamond gel, and this is the cuticle oil I'll be using from this brand Blossom, and that's in the scent strawberry, I believe, as you can see here. And here I'm just applying my oil on my cuticles, and I'm doing that on both hands. And I usually don't rub it in, but I don't know why, but I rubbed it in. I'm pretty sure it spilled, but this is the look, and this is how they'll look after. Hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and make sure you follow me on Instagram at Nailz by Jess.